guys, and welcome to Odds on Bundesliga. We have a midweek game ahead of us, so we are going to analyze every single game with Radek Vegas. But I also want to know your opinion, so please let me know what you think in the comment section, and you will have the chance to win a £10 free bet with Novibet. And if you enjoyed the video, do not forget to click on the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click on the bell to get all the notifications. And now let's go on with the show. We just finished the 11th match day of the Bundesliga, but we have midweek games this week, and we are going to analyze everything with Radek Vegas. Hello, Radek.
Hey Eduardo, looking forward. It's getting exciting. We have a new leader in the Bundesliga with Leverkusen. Haven't been in the first place for about 6 years, and yeah, this is exciting. Not Bayern Munich first place, not Borussia Dortmund, who just fired their coach Lucien Favre, and yeah, we're looking forward to this 12th game day.
We had an amazing weekend with a lot of surprises. Let's see how we can make money in the middle of the week, starting with the first game, Eintracht Gladbach. Here the odds are almost the same for both teams. We see how Borussia Monchengladbach, probably they are paying the European effort. They drew 1-1 against Hertha Berlin, with Embolo scoring that goal, and now they are in a run of only one victory in the last 5 Bundesliga games, so they are getting far away from the European positions. And Eintracht, they lost again, also against Wolfsburg, and 9 games without a victory here, Radek.
Yeah, and but on the other hand, they only lost 2 games. It was their second loss in this season for Frankfurt. And the first one was obviously 5-0 against Bayern Munich. And now the last minute goal of Wout Weghorst led to the 2-1 loss against Wolfsburg. Gladbach had, like every other Champions League team, struggled the last weekend. Only Leipzig could win the game. And so, yeah, it's. I think it's really another close game here between Frankfurt and Gladbach. I would say the value is a bit on the Frankfurt side because they're playing at home, and the odds are a bit higher on Frankfurt with 2.8. Gladbach win away, okay, with 2.5 is not the thing I want to bet on. I would go for Asian handicap on Frankfurt here because I think it's very hard to beat them, and Wolfsburg was a bit lucky. They got a penalty and the last minute goal of Weghorst after Frankfurt was leading. And yeah, so I think they can at least keep 1 point at home. Odds on Frankfurt Asian handicap 0, what means if it's a draw, you get your money back, is 2.05. I like this. And if you are watching our channel, please subscribe if you haven't. And if you are already a subscriber, you know that I like to bet on draws a lot, because in this game, yeah, the odds are almost equal. You can have a look at the X, it's 3.85 around. So this can be an option as well here.
And Eintracht, they have conceded goals in every single game this season in the Bundesliga. So here, let's go for them to win with Asian handicap 0, just to cover ourselves in case we have a draw. The next one, we have the odds favorable for Hertha, clear favorites when they are hosting Mainz. 1.79 for the home victory here. And we just said it, they drew against Gladbach. They came back from the important victory against Union Berlin in the derby, so they are getting slightly better. I guess it's easier because their start of the season was a bit poor. Only one defeat in the last 6 games, and Mainz, one of the teams of the bottom of the table, and they got beaten this weekend by Cologne in a very important clash to avoid relegation. Radek, they also lost with Arminia Bielefeld, so 2 very important defeats for Mainz in both games that they should have gotten some points. So this is probably one that they might lose against the capital team.
Yeah, Trent is speaking a clear speech to bet on Hertha here. The odds of 1.8 around are, I think, not that good, but okay. If we think that Mainz will continue to struggle, Hertha has a way better or strikers with Cunha, Piontek, Cordoba, Luque Bacchio. They are all good strikers and can score goals. That's why Hertha has scored 19 goals so far in the Bundesliga, which is kind of in the top rankings. And Mainz conceded 25 goals. So I think the Hertha win is an option here with 1.8. We also can have a look at the over goals. Maybe over 3 goals is odds of 2.0. You get your money back if there are exactly 3 goals. I expect here 3 goals or more. So this can be a bet as well. But as we said, that Hertha has a better shape, condition and trend. 1.8 on Hertha is a thing I like.
Labadia's team, they are doing pretty well in the last few weeks, and so is doing the other team of Berlin, Union Berlin. Now they travel to Stuttgart. Both teams surprised us this weekend. Stuttgart beating 1-5 Borussia Dortmund. You just said it, how Favre was sacked after that amazing defeat. 2 huge victories for Stuttgart recently. They also beat Werder Bremen, so they are 7th now, and Union Berlin, they drew with Bayern Munich. We said that it was not an easy trip for Bayern. Well, Promel took the lead, and at the end they got 1 point, so fair enough, of course, against Bayern Munich. Here we have actually pretty good odds, I would say, for both outcomes, either if you back Stuttgart or Union Berlin.
Yeah, you never know. First of all, the 2 teams are the surprisings of the season so far. 5 goals against Dortmund. Okay, we don't know how good this performance is, because I think the whole Dortmund team was playing against their coach, and so they have a new coach. And yeah, Stuttgart is surprising week after week. They have a very good young team because of their scout Miss Lintant, who was former at Arsenal and built a good team there. Now found a lot of potential players, and the coach does an amazing job to form the young players to a really strong team. On the other hand, Union Berlin, same thing here. No one really knows why they are so strong, even if Max Kruse was not playing and is injured and missing again, maybe against Stuttgart. And that's why it's a close game here, and the odds on Stuttgart with 2.2 are a bit too low, because Union Berlin is always a dangerous team in the last games. I would prefer a draw here with 3.75, or maybe have a look on the Asian handicap on Union Berlin with double chance on Union Berlin gives us odds of 1.75. But it's a game where everything can happen. It's like a coin flip, bet on roulette, red or black. Everything can happen. So in this case, the draw is, I think, the best option.
Both teams have 17 points, fighting for European position. Very good season they are doing so far. And we've talked about how Stuttgart destroyed Borussia Dortmund. And our next game is Werder Bremen Borussia Dortmund. Edin Terzic is the one who is taking Favre's job. I remember you saying at the beginning of the season that you didn't understand how they didn't sack already Favre, who was very, very criticized after last season, and some months later they had to do it after the third defeat in a row at home in the Bundesliga, 2-match for Borussia Dortmund. Now they are fifth and they have to bounce back. Luckily they are not that far actually from the Champions League positions, and maybe it's a good stadium to do that against Werder Bremen, because the team is struggling now, 8 games without a victory. They lost in the weekend against Leipzig, and the odds are pretty low, I would say, for Borussia Dortmund, only 1.62 for the away victory.
Yeah, one thing about Favre, the ironic thing is that he is the best coach Dortmund ever had, according to the points per game he made. And this is strange, because he was always in the critics, and maybe they can't find a better coach, but it's hard maybe Jürgen Klopp could make them to another championship, but he's in Liverpool and I think he won't come back so far. And yeah, in this case, it's another tough game for Dortmund, because with their new coach, it's not a sure thing that they are getting back to normal so soon. 1.6 is way too low for Dortmund in every situation. I won't bet on this small odds for a favorite. Maybe Werder Bremen can make a bit of a surprise here and keep 1 point. To bet on Werder Bremen in this situation that they haven't won a game for 8 game days is no option for me. So yeah, I just have watched the game and I'm really interested in how Dortmund will present themselves to the audience after this very important change on the bench.
Klopp, I guess it's impossible to come back to Dortmund. They were talking about Rose, Nagelsmann or Pochettino, which Pochettino is everywhere as a replacement for every single coach in the big clubs, but we have to wait a little bit. At the moment is Edin Terzic, the one who is going to replace Favre. I guess the results will tell us, or maybe even in the winter break, they will find a long-term replacement for Favre, because Borussia Dortmund needs to improve, the same as Schalke, their local rivals. They drew against Augsburg, almost. Radek, finally we saw a victory against Augsburg. They were leading 1-2. They had one more player in the pitch, but the defense was really poor in this last minute goal scored with a header. So another game without a victory, and now they have another opportunity with Freiburg. It's a team also fighting to avoid relegation, but they beat Arminia Bielefeld, and now they are actually 4 points clear from the relegation area. And Radek, of course, Freiburg are slightly favorites to win this game away from home.
But coach Manuel Baum of Schalke said now after 27 games in a row, Schalke couldn't win in the Bundesliga. He's very confident that they will win someday, maybe this day against Freiburg. I think they can do it. I won't bet on Schalke for sure. And the problem I have with Freiburg is that they have almost the same problems as Schalke. They are not really good in scoring goals. They need the most shots on goal to score. I think they score only every 10th shot on goal is a goal. And that's why I don't think Freiburg will win this game. They are slightly favored with 2.4, 2.5 in odds. And I see a draw here as well, but I won't bet on this two really unpredictable teams. But I think Schalke could win. I hope so for them. So because I think they have to move up in the standings.
0 victories for Schalke, and Freiburg victory over Arminia Bielefeld was only the second one for them in this season, and the first one was in September. So it's normal that you cannot trust also here Freiburg. And two other teams fighting for relegation, especially the first one, Arminia Bielefeld, Augsburg. Arminia, they lost against Freiburg, we just said, after their victory 2-1 with Mainz. They have now 7 points, and in the last 9 games, only that victory, 1 victory and 8 losses. So difficult to trust them against Augsburg. They have 13 points, so they are doing way better. They drew against Schalke with Richter scoring that header in the very last minute. And here also the draw seems the most likely outcome of the game.
Sure, yeah. And what I want to mention is that Arminia Bielefeld won their 2 games at home, and now they're playing at home. And they, Augsburg is a kind of everything can happen team. On a good day, they can beat every team in the Bundesliga, like they proved against Dortmund. And on bad days, they lose against every team in the Bundesliga, maybe. And they're also not a clear favorite here in Bielefeld. And the odds are same here, almost equal. So for sure, if you watch at the players Augsburg has in their roster, I think they're the better team. What is the problem with Bielefeld? That they only scored 8 goals in 11 games so far. That is really, really bad. And only Schalke has 8 goals as well, and these two teams have the worst attackers in the Bundesliga. On the other hand, Augsburg scored 14 goals, and that's why, tend a bit to Augsburg, but it's not a sure win here. And so the odds on all sides are not really attractive, and I won't touch this game.
Okay, another no-touch game. The best game of this 12th match day is Bayern Munich Wolfsburg. Bayern, they just lost their top position in the table, drawing against Union Berlin. Lewandowski scored again, and actually it's only 1 victory in the last 4 games. Also, the champions probably are, the fatigue is affecting them. It's a very tough season, a lot of games in a very tight calendar, and also Bayern can be affected by that. And they face Wolfsburg, one of the 2 teams with no defeats yet in the Bundesliga. Glasner men, they are doing very well, and they beat Eintracht with Weghorst scoring a brace. Actually, he has scored already 9 goals, and the odds for Bayern are very, very low, 1.36 as always. But maybe this one is a tight game, no? Because Wolfsburg, they are being great actually so far.
Yeah, we should expect a close game if any point we know so far is right. And Bayern is struggling with a lot of games they had within the last 10 months since the Bundesliga restart. They had to play so many games in Champions League, Cup games, Bundesliga every 3 days, then a lot of national team games with Germany, because they have a lot of national team players. And they made 3 draws in a row now against Leipzig, against Union Berlin and Werder Bremen. And so in this situation, the odds on Bayern Munich are way too low. And Even Bayern Munich always can strike back. It's not a good thing to bet on Bayern Munich here, because Wolfsburg hasn't lost a game in 11 game days. This is amazing. Same as Leverkusen, both teams have not lost a game. And every trend is coming to an end. Maybe this game is a win for Bayern Munich, but I won't bet on this. We have to consider the Asian handicap on Wolfsburg here, and if we have a close loss of 1 goal, the Asian handicap plus 1.5 on Wolfsburg gives us odds of 2.05 around, and this is a thing you can bet on with value, I think, because Bayern Munich is struggling, Wolfsburg is in an amazing condition, but always be aware that the trend can come to an end.
Okay, good odds, and we will win our bet even if Wolfsburg loses for 1 goal at the Allianz Arena. Really good game, the second against the fourth, because the first one is Bayer Leverkusen. They beat 4-1 Hoffenheim. Alario played again and he scored the last goal. You said it before, no defeats yet, 4 victories in a row. Second best defense in the Bundesliga with only 10 goals conceded. Even they are scoring a lot of goals recently, 14 in the last 4 games. So everything is really positive for Leverkusen. And now they have to beat Cologne, one of the teams in the lower part of the table, but they beat Mainz in the weekend, 0-1, a massive victory for them, fighting against relegation, and they are actually also in form. Radek, in the last 5 games, only 1 defeat, but of course, I guess we should trust Bayer Leverkusen here, and the odds are 1.7.
That is dangerous, because Cologne also beat Dortmund 2-1, but we all don't know if this was because of the team was there also playing against their coach. For sure, everyone is expecting Leverkusen to win. If we only consider the standings, the odds of 1.7 on Leverkusen are good enough to bet on, because it seems unlikely that Leverkusen will not win this game against a team of the bottom in the standings. But as you said, Cologne is improving their shape week after week, and so I think they can keep it close. But this is really interesting how Leverkusen will play now as a leader in the standings. Most time the leader is aware of anything, and we are not allowed to lose. We don't want to lose our first position, and then this thing happens, maybe that they not win and Bayern Munich is back again. That is what we always see in the Bundesliga in the last years. If someone was close or in front of Bayern Munich, they were too afraid to keep this position. It's kind of psychologically a mentally problem for a lot of teams who are not used to be the leader in the standings. And that's why I don't trust Leverkusen at all. And I think the odds are dangerous, but in a normal situation, you have to bet on 1.7 here. I don't trust them.
Yeah, usually also there are many surprises in these midweek match games. Some of the teams, they are not used to play every 3 days, and even the Giants, they are tired. So being winter and again in a midweek game, all the favorites, I think they risk a little bit to drop some points, but Leverkusen, they have the option. They have only 2 games left. If they win them, they will go into the winter break topping the table. I think no one could expect that, and they can see every day in the Bild how they are topping the table for 3-4 weeks, and I'm sure they will be happy. And the last game is Hoffenheim Leipzig, Leipzig third, so another one of the favorites to battle at least with Bayern Munich for the Bundesliga title, and they beat Werder Bremen after that amazing draw against Bayer with Savitzer and Dani Olmo scoring. They are in a really good form, Nagelsmann men, and only one defeat this Bundesliga against Gladbach, and they face Hoffenheim. They lost, they were thrashed by Leverkusen 4-1, but they were in a good run actually. 6 games without a defeat, tough calendar for them, facing their former coach actually Nagelsmann, and the odds for Leipzig pretty similar as we saw for Leverkusen here, Radek. Now is 1.67 more or less on Expedia.com.
Yeah, everything said. So the regular thing is a Leipzig win here, but it's too low for betting on them. Hoffenheim was better than the 1-4 could imagine. That's why I don't think this is a clear win for Leipzig. But yeah, to bet on Hoffenheim is also too dangerous, because Leipzig, is really hard to beat. I can imagine the best thing Hoffenheim can do is a draw here, and as you said, Leipzig can be exhausted and tired after a lot of games, and Nagelsmann always talks like they are impossible to beat, but they definitely are not that strong. And I think one day they are losing, and maybe Hoffenheim can strike back. And in this Bundesliga, you have to be aware of a lot of surprisings, and this can be another one. I don't think it's a clear Leipzig win. Maybe it can be a draw, where the odds of 4.7 are really attractive, I think. And to bet on Hoffenheim is a little bit too speculative, because they just lost with 4 goals conceded. That's a bit too high, but still a loss. In this game, always dangerous to bet on favorites. I think, as we saw last weekend, betting on Dortmund and Bayern was completely wrong, and I think it's the closer we get to Christmas, the favorites are mentally in Christmas break, and the teams behind want to make some surprises to finish this year with a good impression. And that's why I think not only in this game, it's maybe a better thing to bet on the underdogs.
All right. Also remember that Hoffenheim beat Bayern Munich at home, so they are always a dangerous team. Then we have everything. Radek, let's enjoy these midweek games, and let's talk later in the week to analyze the final match day before the winter break, the last one in this 2020 for the Bundesliga. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and subscribe. See you next time.
So be careful, as Radek just explained. We might see a lot of surprises here. The midday weeks are always very tricky, but I also want to know your opinion. So please leave a comment in this video, and you will have the chance to win a £10 free bet with Novibet. Just comment anything and you will participate in the draw. And do not forget to click on the like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to our channel, and click on the bell to get all the notifications. You can also listen to all our videos in our podcast. And this week we have more Bundesliga, so we will be back very soon with odds on Bundesliga.